Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of the King's Castle. King James along with Boy Chopin. But, we need to switch gears here because apparently there's been a firing in the Trump administration this week.
Whoa, you're actually on here?
Whoa.
I'm shocked.
Yes.
Well, give us an overview because you're always drastically wrong on these overviews.
Well, actually, gentlemen, this time I defer to you for the overview.
No. Can we hear yours first?
Yeah. Do you need the phone for this, man?
Very, very simply put, that man deserved to be fucked.
Hot take!
Whoa!
Here we go. We'd have another debate segment. Why did he deserve to be fired?
Because he was helping Donald Trump lead this country into turmoil. Trump's not going to put up with it.
What do you want?
No,
you
I
are
don't.
on Fox News. Keep going, though. I'll let you speak.
Did you just compare him to Fox News?
Yes, I did.
It sounds so idiotic, but keep speaking.
No.
Let's hear your take. No,
Come on.
Full opinion. Come on.
Frankly, the guy just didn't know what he was doing. Therefore, I think he put some people up to putting out that story about the hacking by the Russians that led to the results of the election, because he just wanted to stir up buzz.
This is terrible.
And therefore, he deserved to be fired because he gave the country a lot of unnecessary and wrong criticism.
Okay.
Where?
I feel like it's like when Billy Madison was asked a complex question, and then he just started reciting the plot of a children's book.
Yeah.
And the guy looked up and he said, "No one has ever said anything so idiotic." I forgot what the judge told him. But anyway, it's obvious why this firing happened. And it's for nothing that you mentioned. Because you're saying he stirred up a lot of controversy. If anything, this man played, I'm not going to say, like some Democrats say, that him releasing, restarting the Hillary Clinton investigation a week before the election single-handedly won Trump the election. I'm not saying that it went that far. But I'm also saying it didn't hurt. So this notion that Donald Trump is firing him because of his past transgressions is just false. That's not true. Hold on. He was praising him in November. He was saying what a great job he was doing and everything like that. But what happened here is this is a very, very suspicious, very, 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 very suspicious firing. Because the week after, hold on, James, with your Fox News.
I think the two of you have said very enough tonight.
Chill out, Bill O'Reilly. A week ago, they announced they're investigating Trump's ties with Russia, not election,
right,
and the role they played in interfering with our election. Something that, if proven, I think there could be easily an argument made that it's impeachable. Now, Trump, as president, has the right to fire the head of the FBI. But at the same time, it's never happened.
Yeah.
And it's obvious to me, I'm 99% confident, because I can view this objectively, that he fired Mr. Comey not because of what he did to Hillary Clinton. He was very happy about that. But that he was investigating him, and that he didn't like that. Now here's my other point. If Donald Trump doesn't have anything to hide, then why is he so upset about being investigated?
Because he's a billionaire, he can lose a lot of money.
Oh, God.
As Vince McMahon always says, it's all about the money! It's all about the money!
No, I don't think, he'll have a lot of money regardless.
Right.
And this is impeachable stuff. Because no one hires...
Oh, don't you get it? Don't you get it? The man is upset because he really doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn about possibly being impeached.
Well, obviously he does, James, because he knew he was getting investigated, and he fired the person who was going to do the investigation.
But weren't there
and now he's going to get to hire the person who's going to do the investigation. It's probably going to be Chris Christie in a bag of Wendy's.
Not just Wendy's.
So that was my take on it. It was very
he's gonna hire Wendy?
Whoa.
I thought it was very suspicious, but I don't know.
Double cheeseburger.
Pete, what did you think?
I agree with you. I mean, I kind of thought it was. There's multiple investigations open.
Right.
So, I think he fired Comey just to try to get these investigations. But I found out, number one, Trump wanted to fire him since November.
I don't think that's true at all.
And number two, I heard it was the Attorney General that sent Trump a letter to have him fire Comey.
That's not true either. Trump today said. Trump today said, you're watching Fox News too, because Trump today said,
I try not to.
It was all me. It was my decision to fire him. No one else's. And okay, fine. Let's try to accept on the face of it that he wanted to fire him in November. Then why does it conveniently happen?
That was crazy.
Then why does this is fine. Then why, if he wanted to fire him in November, then why does it conveniently happen the week after he testifies?
Exactly.
And says he's going to look more into the Russia thing.
And Comey's testifying again next week.
Is he actually going to do it?
Even though he's been fired?
Yes.
Well,
and just so you know, it's not my choice to watch Fox News.
On a personal note, though, I honestly thought he should have been fired a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Simply because...
But FBI directors don't get fired. That's what you don't understand.
Simply because I think a lot of people thought he was a little too controversial.
Well, I think he got too cocky, too.
I mean, no, but that's not a reason for him to be fired.
No, I'm not...
If Hillary Clinton was elected, she would not have fired him.
And I'm not saying him being cocky was the reason for him getting fired. I'm not saying that.
But, this never happens.
No.
And I think it's a little, if Trump really wanted to fire him since November, and maybe he was fed up with him, I can't buy that because I think he played a role in helping him get elected, even if it was a small role. And he was on the campaign trail just, blowing them, basically. But, that's a technical term. But, if he wanted to fire him since November, why didn't he do it?
Why didn't he?
And then why is it
January?
Why is it conveniently right after he said he wants more resources for the investigation, and he testified that he wanted to investigate it. And then if that's, with all that being said, how does this all add up that he's not scared about what an investigation would find? And how does it not set up a precedent that if you aren't loyal to Mr. Trump, you're going to get fired? And that's a very slippery precedent.
I did think
absolutely,
because then it allows the administration to be as corrupt as they want to be because you're just looking up to one guy. That's a dictatorship. That's not a democracy.
And eventually, if that be the case, I hate to use this term, but drunkenness of power is going to go to his head, and eventually he's going to end up being overthrown.
Oh, God.
I did think it was funny, the headlines after Comey was fired, because they used it like a Celebrity Apprentice stuff.
You're fired, yeah.
Comey tells Trump, you're fired. And I'm like, what am I watching here?
Yeah, but...
You're fired. Get to chop up.
It just, as me, I'm kind of neutral about this stuff. I don't, people just root for one side so much in politics now.
Yeah.
But, to me, it's just the timing of it is just so fishy that I think something did happen where Russia did interfere in the election. And I don't know what they did specifically, but it's obviously there's something that he doesn't want to get out.
Just like his tax returns.
Right, there's something there, because why wouldn't you just release them? If there's not a problem with your taxes, just release them. If you did nothing wrong with Russia, then have an investigation.
And how long does it take to audit somebody?
The man's
been audited for a year.
That's true too. When you apply for a job, if Donald Trump was applying for a job and they said, we're going to have to do a background check, you'd be like, you're fired.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of when you apply for a job somewhere and they say you want to do a background check, you're like, fine, I've got nothing to hide.
Right.
It's similar to this.
But here's the thing. Normally background checks are not by choice. Where? What are you doing?
I gave you the bless your heart shoulder tap. So James, has your opinion changed on this?
Honestly?
No.
I thought the guy was too controversial. He probably deserved to be fired because he was letting his power as the head of the FBI go to his head.
But okay,
because he could ask anybody any question he wanted, and he got way too personal on a couple of occasions.
Okay, but what did he do? I don't understand what he did that was an abuse of his power. If anything, what was an abuse of his power was a week before the election going up and did what he did, but I don't understand why investigating.
No. It's not that. See, the abuse of power occurred when he was undergoing this situation with the Hillary Clinton emails, because he kept asking her the same questions again and again and again.
But how is that an abuse of power?
Because
and what does that
she
have to
made
do
it
with?
seem like everything she was saying was true.
Well,
So therefore he didn't have any way to prove that she was lying.
well, I thought that was a little fishy too. That whole email thing.
Well, it was fishy that in July he did not handle that well.
No.
And I grant you that.
And that's what I was getting.
But you would have to be a village idiot to believe that Donald Trump fired him for handling the Hillary Clinton situation poorly.
Maybe
If you think he actually cares about that, then I have some swampland and
that is so funny.
Narnia to sell you.
Because everything I've heard on the news now, considering my sources, which is not very great, but they're all saying this is the first part of him draining the swamp. Okay.
No, I don't understand that though. But like, how is
Because he's only big.
this is making it more swampy.
Exactly.
You're trying to get someone who's having an independent investigation, and the first time you hear that, you fire them so you can get more yes men in there. How is that draining the swamp?
Yes.
That's exactly the opposite of what you said was going to happen.
Yes.
And James I still don't know what Comey did that was, because you don't fire these people. This never happens.
Never. This is the first.
And you're not going to convince me.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that if you were the president, you wouldn't fire him?
No, because you don't fire the FBI people.
No,
it's like
you
an
just let him
unwritten
run
rule.
his term out.
Right.
He had another 6.5 years on his tenure as an FBI commissioner. Or director.
Yeah, it doesn't
Same
happen.
thing.
Well, unfortunately,
And the fact that it happened right after they said they were investigating him makes me believe more that he should have been fired. Because Hillary Clinton, for all of her faults, would not have fired him.
Right.
Even though he investigated her and, if she knew that he potentially screwed her,
well, see,
which would not be
Gross.
good.
Gross.
That is gross.
See, if there's one thing I know about President Trump, it's this: before he became president, everywhere he went, some way or another, he always stood in the middle of controversy and turmoil.
That's not Comey's fault.
So that being said, maybe
I see what you're saying.
maybe him firing Comey is just a way of trying to get the country more publicity in one way or another.
More publicity. We're the richest nation and one of the bigger nations in the world. And he's constantly fucking up. So I think that gives him plenty of publicity.
And more controversy.
This is not helping anyone move forward. This is all that's been in the news for the past 4 days. And it's going to continue to be. And what it does is it makes the whole administration look guilty.
Wow.
To me, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it wasn't the move. At all. It was. He does things that are. This is the problem he has. He does
That's
things,
where the controversy and turmoil comes.
He has a very quick
because
trigger.
he's trying to protect himself.
He is.
He has a very quick trigger. He plays golf 100 times a day, and then he turns on the news for 2 minutes. He sees James Comey say that he might be investigated. He fires him. He sees what happens in Syria. He bombs him. There's no let's think this through. How is this going to look? There's none of that in the
It's
administration
just
because he doesn't have anyone checking him.
It's a gut
Exactly.
He needs people checking him.
Exactly.
Exactly. And he just flies.
So that
He just does
It's
whatever.
this whole thing is very Nixon-esque. It reminds me a lot of
Watergate.
Oh, the
beginning of
Watergate scandal.
But the thing is,
And that's funny.
I don't think it will have the same consequences because I don't think anyone will hold him accountable in the government.
That's funny because everybody in the news.
But I don't
compared
think
to the Watergate.
I don't think he'd resign either.
Oh no, they
I don't
wouldn't
think he's got too much pride to resign.
He would have to be overthrown.
impeached.
Impeach. You don't overthrow people.
I mean,
It's civil society.
you could. I mean, if you.
Not a dictatorship yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was very fishy. I don't know, really understand your reason for supporting it, James, but one day maybe I will.
And the way it happened, and what time of day it happened.
Sean Spicer was in the bushes.
It's
very like secretive.
He was 20 minutes. They said he was 20 minutes late to his press briefing
Because he didn't know what was happening.
and
Amazingly.
then he's just conveniently been absent from the press briefings since then.
He has a very hard job.
Well, that being
I do not envy him trying to spin everything.
That being said,
because there's like no spin that you can get this.
No.
The spin that they're trying to give it makes no sense. It's like Donald was so offended the way he treated Hillary, and he just had to make a stand. Like bullshit.
That being said, we're gonna come back with more wrestling talk right after this. But we will keep you updated on the Trump Comey situation. So stay right there.
People will tune into this and to see that. So we're a trusted news organization here.
No, we're not.